Okay, so here's a video update on the all-new Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE after using it for a little bit over 6 weeks, so let's say a month and a half or so. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's go ahead and jump in. First things first, as you would imagine, of course, nothing drastic happened to this tablet. It's been working really well. I'm going to say exceptionally well, obviously, because it's a new tablet. It's still, in its prime. It's doing very, very well. The one thing that I did notice at the very beginning is that the battery wasn't as good as it is right now, right? It almost is, counterintuitive that the battery is better now, almost 2 months in, but obviously that's because, the machine itself has gotten time to learn my habit and adjust and make sure that it is as optimized to my using as possible, right? So if you buy this tablet, you should expect that it behaves the same way, right? First, there's gonna be a lot of computational work on the back end, trying to figure out how you use your tablet before, it kind of like settles and goes into this, cruise control mode and keeps up with your habits. All right, so let's talk about some of the goods. It's waterproof, well, let's say water resistant to be specific. So IP68 rated, so water and dust resistant. So if you were to drop this in water, you'll be fine. Now, I don't know a lot of people who do drop their tablets in water. Now, I know that it happens with phones, but not with tablets. But if that was the case, you'll be just fine. Or if you're out and it starts raining, you'll be just fine. So that's a good thing to have there. The physical fingerprint sensor that we have here actually is an underrated feature. A lot of people don't realize. I love it. I love the ability to be able to quickly and accurately, unlock the tablet here without having to do the face recognition thing. That's kind of like a hit and miss on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 FE, right? So it's been very nice to have that. The display here is probably one of the best things that this tablet has compared to the predecessor, right? It's a very bright display. The colors are very vibrant. It looks really good. Like the viewing angles, for example, are so good, right? It's been very nice watching this. Even at an angle, depending on how you sit or how you lay down while using your tablet, you should still be able to enjoy this. And that comes to play when it comes down to students, right? I typically like to highlight students when it comes down to the display here being bright and whatnot, because I know a lot of students who live on campus like to be out and about, with their tablets, and might be just roaming the campus and watching movies or following their courses online or doing their work outside. It looks good outside, even under direct sunlight, right? So that's one of the things that you should keep in mind here. The platform here is one of those things that's almost controversial, because some people claim it's good, some people claim it's bad, and of course there are people who are neutral. What you have here is an Exynos 1380. Personally, I would have loved it if Samsung had stuck with a Snapdragon chipset, because that's what we are accustomed to and we know how good those things are. And of course, on the same token, Samsung is trying to push out its own chipsets. From, I guess, a businessman perspective, I can fully understand that, but from a consumer perspective or an enthusiast perspective, I can also see why some people are frustrated. But I think to the average consumer, if it can just do the work, everybody will be happy. And I'm happy to tell you that it actually does the work. It works very, very well. It's well optimized. It actually works slightly better than the Snapdragon on the Wi-Fi of the Tab S7 FE, right? So I would say there's some stuff that it processes slightly faster than my Tab S7 FE, which is loaded with a Snapdragon 788, right? So you have to keep that in mind. Now, on the other hand, I'm gonna say that I do notice that it gets warm. Not to the extent where, it's concerning, where you're like, whoa, what's happening with my tablet here? But you will notice, I'd like to say lukewarm. That's what I used last time, right? I said, it gets lukewarm, but not alarmingly hot or anything like that, right? So just warm because it's doing a lot of work. It also depends on what you're doing, especially if you're doing gaming, if you like doing heavy games like Call of Duty, for example. I could feel it get warm a little bit, and even Asphalt 9, that felt a little warm, but the other games are just fine, the other stuff. And doing heavy multitasking for a long period of time, you might feel a little bit of that warmth. But like I said, nothing to the extent where you should be super worried that something is going to happen to your tablet here. One thing that is a downgrade and that I still feel the repercussion would be the USB Type-C port that we have here, right? Some of you want the ability to push out video signal. Unfortunately, you can't do that here, and I think that's a that's a point off. Samsung taking that away. I really wish they kept that. My hope is that with the next iteration of the S10 10 FE, they're bringing that back. Of course, the speakers have been great. Watching movies, watching videos. I do a lot of video watching on YouTube videos. Has been good. My experience watching videos, navigating the internet, checking emails, doing some light to medium work here has been very smooth. And of course, we do have that refresh rate, 90 hertz. Some of you may not know what that means. Simply means things are smoother here, right? Scrolling through things, the way the display refreshes is just smoother here compared to anything that's 60 hertz, which is most tablets out there. So it works very well. It's smooth with that 90 hertz refresh rate. The S Pen has been fantastic as well. I don't want to, beat this dead horse. It works just like it did with the previous one. I don't really notice a difference in terms of lag or, latency between the S Pen on the S9 FE here and the S7 FE, right? So nothing else there. As far as the cameras go, nothing particularly special with the one on the back there. It's good for scanning documents, taking videos and pictures, and you should not expect these to be super amazing videos that you can post on social media or anything like that, right? The 12 megapixel ultra wide that we have on the front there has been very, very good when, video calling. So to those of you who will be, I don't know, taking courses online, this is a very good one. It's a good tablet for that, right? Because video quality for video calling is very nice here. It's not as noisy as what we've seen in the past. So that's one thing to bring up there. And then finally, of course, the battery. The battery, like I mentioned, seems to be better. I'm definitely seeing the entire day without any issues. I'm assuming at this point it's learned my usage, and that's why it's adapted to it, and that's why it's optimized to work so well. So with all this being said, I don't think there's anything out of this world that I, can highlight. It's been working just like I expected, right? Some of the pros or some of the cons are exactly what we expected when the tablet here first dropped, right? And this is something that I still recommend today. If you are, a lot of people have been asking me, should I buy the S9 FE or should I buy the Tab S8? In that case, there's no question. Just go for the Tab S8. That's a better tablet overall. And it's probably going to cost you a little bit more, maybe like 80 to 100 bucks more, but go for that instead. And to those of you who have been asking, should I buy the S9 FE or the S7 FE? Well, it depends, right? I've said this a number of times. If you are one of those looking for a large tablet, obviously go for the S7 FE. But if you are looking for some of the enhancement that took place with the new iteration here, go for this one, right? Whether we're talking the better display, for example, brighter display, higher refresh rate, waterproof, water and dust proof, all that good stuff, you could go for this. But if you're looking for something that can push out video signal, obviously go for the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE. Anyways, I'm certainly hoping that this was informative and that it helps you or gives you a little bit more of an idea of what it is like to use this tablet after a couple of months, I should say. If you have any questions, put those in the comment section. I'm going to catch you in that comment section like I always do. Make sure to like this video if you haven't done so already, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I mentioned. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Up until that next video, of course. As always, stay safe out there.